Hello everyone and welcome to New Mom Spirit. I'm Nadia and I'm here to give you a simple explanation on crochet hooks because as an absolute beginner, I know many of you tend to buy many online first kits and try to start, or you go to a craft store and you buy the first thing that you find without even knowing what you're doing. So let me just give you a quick explanation of what you should use and not to use, especially as an absolute beginner. We're gonna start with the what not to use first. Okay, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but somebody gifted this to me. I don't know if they did it because they bought it for themselves, they saw that they could not use them and decided to, okay, I'm gonna give it to her, maybe she can use it for her videos or her craft or everything. But is this the wood hooks? So I have all of them, okay, and the smallest one I think is 3 millimeters or even less. I believe I have up to a 10. Okay, so that's the biggest, the 10. You can see in there, this one is a 4.5. Why you should not use this one? First of all, for crochet, you don't need this. This really long string is absolutely unnecessary. I think they kind of copied this from the knitting hooks, but that's another video. If you're interested in knitting, you should go and watch that out. Then the yarn doesn't run through this, and the trick of crochet is they be able to go in and out of the yarn easily. Well, the wood tend to don't do it. All of our hands, some people more, some people less, we tend to sweat, right? So when you are with a wood one and you're with the yarn is something dry, it won't move. Then you come with your wet hands because you're sweaty, especially if you're nervous because you're starting. It's just not gonna work. You're gonna frustrate yourself and say, crochet is not for me. And crochet might really be for you or not. But if it's for you, if you really want to try, please do avoid using wood crochet hooks because they are going to be the most frustrating thing in the world. The ones that I have, as I say, I use them as examples for my students in my courses that I do online. And I show them. And I'm going to come in another video and I'm going to show it to you as well, how hard it is to use them. So please do avoid them. Even if you are an advanced, I will say don't go for them. But if you really know, I've been doing this for over 2 decades. So I will say I can do it. It's tricky sometimes, depends on the yarn and everything. If I go for a fluffy yarn is slightly easier, but for acrylic one or the wool one, you will find is a bit tricky. So I will say, for me, the first one you should avoid is the wood ones. Then comes the plastic ones. You have different ones. Here I have different type of, you have them thicker, not on size, but on texture, thicker or thinner. The good of the plastic ones is they are weightless. They don't weigh nothing. It's so easy to carry them for hours and hours and hours on end. But again, the yarn is dry, you are starting, you are again sweating, so this is gonna slide from your hand a lot, especially the more sweaty hands you have, the worst. And it's going to, again, frustrate you. What do you have available in plastic? Any size that you want to. There's so many sizes out there in the market. Here right now with me, I have a 7, another 7, and a 5. I get these ones a lot when I go to Spain. Sometimes I forget to bring my things, or I'm there for very long periods of time and I say, oh, I'm gonna go and get some in whatever. And I don't want them to wait so much because I'm going with like a small luggage or something and I don't want to be carrying more and more stuff. And I tend to come back from Spain with a lot of yarns. So I sometimes buy these ones because these ones are available in any shop in there. But I will not suggest them as a beginner. And I always, again, say this to my students, do not try the plastic ones because it's really hard to work on them. And until you don't practice your tension properly, you will feel you're not doing things properly. Okay, so again, another one to avoid will be the plastic ones. Then we come to the metal ones. For metal ones, you have different. I have these ones, which the only difference is more of how the rubber looks, and the space you have for your finger is quite small. Then I have this other one where the space for your fingers is a lot longer. So I will say this one is really good for the pencil holding technique, which again is coming in another video as well. And this one, it's slightly less, but it's enough for my fingertip there to put it. It still work. Now, the difference between these ones, you have the visual feeling that this one, because it's completely fully metallic, it's going to work better because you feel you have more space. But again, if you have no idea about crochet, you only will probably put between 1 to 3 loops on your hook. So you are never gonna pass that line. Can you see that curve in there? You're never gonna pass that. So the fact that this is fully metal and this is not, does not make a difference of how good or bad you're gonna do on your projects. Because again, even in here, you are not gonna go past, let's say, that. No more than that. Doesn't matter what stitch I'm gonna be teaching you, you're not gonna go through more than that. So it's not like you need to have a fully metal so you can fill it up. Again, we are not talking about knitting where you are casting on all your entire needles. Again, I don't want to confuse you between knitting and crochet, but maybe it's a good example so you understand the difference between crochet and knitting. Knitting is about putting all of your stitches on the hook. Crochet is about putting only one stitch at a time on your hook. That's something really important. So the difference between them, it's more of a comfortable thing, more of a tension thing, more of your own grip on the hook. I always change how I hold my hook, which again, as I say, you will get it in another tutorial how to do that, and as well I can teach you that on my online courses. If I want to do the pencil holding, it's easier, and even sometimes I use the knife as well, depends the project that I'm doing, and sometimes I just have like a free hold and I just go and then do my own way. So I like to have them both, and I have them both in all the sizes available. I have from a 2mm up to 10mm on all of them. I don't do projects bigger than that. I know other crocheters out there, they do up to like 20mm, 25mm. That's like really chunky yarns that I don't work on them, especially not for tutorials. So I have them all. And why do I like to? Because sometimes I'm doing really long projects. I'm talking about hours and hours on end crocheting, and I get tired. So I like to have them both because sometimes depend how I feel at the beginning. I might start with a rubber one, so I'm kind of like comfortable and it's soft and my hand is resting. Later on, I feel a little bit more like, okay, now I have warmed up my fingers, I have warmed up my wrist. Let's just go for the whole metallic one. So this one is more of a preference. I will say for you to get one of each, get the same size and get one of each and test both of them. Practice with both of them. And I assure you in the next few weeks, days, months, while you have practice, depends how much you practice every week, then you will decide which one is your favorite, but you will always like to have the other one handy as well. So all of the tutorials you're gonna see of me here, sometimes you're gonna see me using only metallic, sometimes you're gonna see the same project using both, because again, maybe I've been filming all day and I'm quite tired, so I need to like stretch my hands a little bit and practice in different. But these ones, they are the absolute best that I will say, go for them, okay? Are there anything else out in the market? Absolutely. There are so many other types that you can go. There's also these new fancy acrylic ones that they are becoming really popular, really famous. I have tested few of them, not all. And again, they are not for me. I mean, I will always go with the aluminum, metallic, stainless, however you want to call it ones, which are these ones. So if you're an absolute beginner, I would say go for these ones. And as I say, get it in both rubber and completely fully metallic. So like that, you can practice both of the techniques. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has answered your question in what hooks to get for yourself. And just one last thing in preparation for the next video, which is all about yarns, is okay, I bought the hook, now what about the yarns? When you go to a shop, I got this one in Spain, but it doesn't matter. When you go to the shop and you found a yarn, to know which hook do you need, you only have to look for that picture. So you will always have the 2 needles, that's for knitting, and the hook of crochet size, and on the bottom you will have the size that you need. As an absolute beginner, I will say do go for the highest one. So in this case, I will suggest you go for a 7 in either knitting or crocheting, because you're practicing and you need to have the space enough to see what you're doing. So that is where you can see that, but I will teach you all of these in more detail on the next video. Don't confuse yourself, but now if you want to go to a store and get yourself hooks and yarns, you know that you should always check the hook size together with the yarn size, so you make sure you can do it. Don't get something like this because it's pretty and fluffy and you can't wait to make a project with it and then get like a 3, a 4 size hook. Don't do that. But if you're an absolute beginner, I want to invite you to join us on Patreon. I have created online courses where I will be teaching you on live how to start from absolute beginner, or if you're an advanced, we can work together. This world of crocheting, knitting and everything is always a learning process. You are never going to stop learning new techniques, new ways. And I love the community we are creating where we share a lot of like what one person knows, what the other one knows, and then we exchange point of views. My students interact between them so they can actually connect and share their experiences, and that I'm always 24/7 for them to guide them. That's one of the things you can do. And as well, I have a lot of patterns in there in many files that will help you from absolute beginners, as I say, up to a complete advance. That is something that you might want to check it out. You're going to find all the information on the description box down below, or otherwise you can join us here in YouTube, subscribe, like, and press the notification bell so you will get notified every time I upload a video. And my videos in here normally are really small projects and all the step-by-steps in detail of how to start on the world of crochet and knitting. I can't wait to have you, and thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye now.